Next on the news, these nuns are on a mission. Feed the needy in this New Jersey community, no matter the cost.
It's one of the most dangerous cities in the country, but the Sisters of St. Joseph say there's no bravery required when it comes to feeding the hungry. I'm Jessica Easthope. That story's coming up next.
Bishops in Ohio are speaking out after an increase in dangerous threats from an online rumor regarding migrants there. Plus,
how are you, man? Thank you. Thank you so much.
A heartfelt reunion after a golfer turned Good Samaritan saved a man's life. He says God was on the greens that fateful day. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. The Sisters of St. Joseph are on a mission in South Jersey. A community has formed around the Lutheran Church where they feed hundreds of hungry Camden residents every month. And despite the city's violent crime rates, Currents News' Jessica Easthope reports the sisters keep showing up and their army of volunteers continues to grow.
Camden, New Jersey consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in the country. But the crime here is no match for their compassion.
We are ready for every and any good work. It's not that we're brave, but we're loving boldly and trying our best to enhance our ministry by inviting many people into our mission and ministry. Yeah, that can go to the meat.
Sister Bonnie McMenamin runs the show here at the Sisters of St. Joseph Neighborhood Center. The sisters and their volunteers are called to feed the hungry. And in Camden, there are many. The latest data from the New Jersey Department of Health shows 11.3% of the population is food insecure. However, more than a third of residents live in poverty.
If they have jobs at all, it's very low paying jobs. So I would just say that most of our parents cannot feed their families.
On the third Wednesday of every month, hundreds come to Christus Lutheran Church. They take a number and wait inside as the sisters and volunteers set up their food pantry. Jennifer LaRosa has been volunteering for years.
Good work, guys.
Now, as the director of servant leadership at St. Joseph Academy in Hamilton, New Jersey, she brings students along to help.
It's living out our faith in action. And I say that to our students all the time, that while we'll be doing a lot of the work and the heavy lifting, we end up getting back way more than we give.
The food that's given out ranges from fresh produce and protein to bread and sweets. It needs to cover all the basics because Camden has the largest food desert community in the state.
The lack of food, lack of good food, and education is a huge part of it, and why, giving them a balanced diet. That's why you see all of that here.
Here, the people who come to shop at the food pantry are called neighbors.
The idea is that each person we meet is our neighbor and we see God within each person we meet.
Yes, don't pay to set up.
Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you.
Linda Nieves, a neighbor who's been coming since the pantry's inception, says a community has formed around the center.
With the crime and neglect, it has improved because there's been more help for the people and the community. The Lord, He will make a way no matter what. So if you have faith, there's hope.
Feeding the hungry in Camden is a heavy lift, but the hope the center dishes out is slowly replacing the struggle. In Camden, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
If you'd like to help the sisters with their mission, just go to ssjnc.org/wishlist. There you'll find an online donation link and a place to mail your contributions. Bishops in Ohio are calling on people to treat migrants with respect and dignity. The prelates from Springfield released a statement saying the blue-collar city of around 50,000 people has been struggling with violent threats and life disruptions after viral social media claims that the Haitian migrants there were eating people's pets. While the bishops did not address this rumor directly, they encouraged people to not perpetuate ill on anyone based on, quote, unfounded gossip, saying, quote, instead, we ask for prayers and support for all the people of Springfield as they integrate their new Haitian neighbors and build a better future together. They went on to say, like all people, these Haitians should be afforded the respect and dignity that are theirs by right and allowed the ability to contribute to the common good. It's a call echoed by the U.S. Bishops' Conference, who released their own message ahead of National Migration Week happening next week. In it, the bishops highlight the Holy Father's message on walking with migrants, saying, quote, Pope Francis calls for solidarity with migrants, reminding us that their journeys mirror the biblical exodus, with God as their guide and companion. He emphasizes that every encounter with migrants is an encounter with Christ, urging us to respond with compassion, recognizing their struggles as a reflection of our shared journey toward the kingdom of heaven. A golfer in Washington state is back on the greens just weeks after almost dying while mid-swing. Fortunately, another golfer came to his rescue and says God put him there to save the man's life. They reunited on the course.
Otis.
There's a big angel.
Oh, my God.
Big angel right there.
How are you, man? Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's the first time face-to-face in weeks.
Oh, God. Oh, God. You have to be there.
After a split-second decision saved a life.
Appreciate it. Everything you did.
For Otis Ulrich
God put me there to help you, brother. Thank you.
and Chris Honingford. It all unfolded during a game of golf.
It was August 20th, and it's a Tuesday morning.
It's a day Chris doesn't remember and one Otis will never forget.
I saw a man that he needed help, and I knew I had to do something.
Chris, who was recently diagnosed with AFib, collapsed.
The heart just, when you have AFib, it beats really fast or really slow. Well, it got to the point where it decided to stop beating. And I was in the middle of a golf swing on the third hole from what I was told.
So I immediately started doing CPR. My main concern was that time that's keep a rhythm going in his heart to try to keep blood going to his brain, because I knew then that he probably had a heart attack and there could be some brain damage if I didn't do what I was doing.
He says he kept going for 15 minutes.
I just kept doing CPR until the medic got there and took over the situation.
Chris was rushed to the hospital.
I just wanted to make sure he was okay.
And for Otis, what followed were sleepless nights.
Make sure I had done things right.
Until Chris was well enough to see visitors.
I don't think words can express how grateful one can be that they literally saved your life. There's no greater calling. There's no greater thing that you can do for a human being.
Fortunately, I was trained in CPR about 50 years ago. Never had to use it. And for some reason, it all just came back to me. I just reacted.
I do fully understand I've been given a new lease on life.
And now Chris has a new mission to learn CPR himself. Finally tonight, The Good Book. That's also a really expensive book. A Bible translated into Hebrew, just sold at auction at Sotheby's for nearly $7 million. Its author was a Spanish rabbi who wrote the 768 pages in the year 1312. It's considered one of the most important Hebrew scriptures to survive medieval Spain. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us, because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time. The same story every month, but always with a different book.
And she prayed to God, like, you know, to help me.
The book club meets at St. Gregory the Great Parish in Belrose, but it's just one of the groups this parishioner of 55 years is involved in.
Because it's my home, you know, it's my home away from home.
How Maureen O'Doherty makes up the pulse of the parish, Wednesday on Currents News.